I know Prakhar.
Prakhar, sorry, not Paras, Prakhar. Yeah, you told me about
So,
Prakhar. How do you know
so
Atul? Because Atul is, I guess, he was from very old batch, and he
actually,
is
sir,
not connected.
Rakesh sir actually introduced me to, had a chat with him regarding any doubts and something. So he told me to have a discussion with
Who is
Atul.
Rakesh?
He's into the sales team of
Oh,
Emarticus.
okay, I understand.
So
So just to answer your question, like, can we lend into ENY or Big Four, like PwC and all those KPMG and all Big Four companies? Probably, I would say no. It's not that easy, to be honest, because they are more looking for people who have got their CA and all those things done, right? So I doubt this can really
Because
happen.
they are audit firms basically.
So what
They are
profiles
audit.
are we going to get in this course?
The profile is more from the middle office Baptist background, wherein like, just to name few: reconciliation, reference data, corporate action, right, settlement. These are the profiles which are KYC, AML, right? So these are broad, and then fixed income equity settlement, fixed income settlement, all these kind of profiles are available. So that's broadly, I would say. And that is what you are doing here in this course. You are understanding things from the concept point of view, right? And on the same concept, right, you would be working. So you would be using the application to deep dive more, and then accordingly follow with the various stakeholder who are working on those trade and all those things. So this is how it is, right? Okay, so now this is being recorded. Your uh, recording has been started. So let's cover the question that you asked. So this is the question that we were doing. Can you see my Excel file? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Mm, 1 second. Let me share it again. Mm, Okay, so this is now here. So 1 month call option for ICICI Bank, and the trading price, current price, or the spot price. Spot price is the current price only, right? So if somebody says spot price, don't be puzzled, just related with the current price. So 600 rupees is the current price, and you are buying a call option. So you're buying a right to buy at 640 with a premium of 3, right? So this is the definition: right to buy. We wrote it here. So you're buying a right to buy ICC Bank at 640, and for this you're making a premium payment of 3 rupees to the seller of this option to you, right? So that is how it is there. So the total payment which comes out to be this 3 multiplied by the lot size. So total payment you're going to make to the option seller is 4125. And now see what can happen, what all scenarios can happen. So when this is 600, it can also go to 640. This is possible, right? If it goes to 640, so you have nothing there, you lost your premium. You if it is if stock goes to 540, 580, 590, whichever number you say, 540, 560, 570, or any other number below 640. So anywhere below 640, lost premium. So your maximum loss can only be premium, because that's the only money that you pay to take position on the option, right? So, and if stock goes above 640, that can be 650, it can be 660, it can be 700, whatever number you can think of. So that is how it can be. Now if it goes above 640, then you start making profit. Why I'm saying you start making profit? Because you have already done a deal with the option seller that okay, you going to buy at 640. So you will be able to get hold of this option contract at 640, and then you would be selling the same thing in the market with the available market price. So if the available market price is 650, so you can easily make a profit of 6 minus 640. So that means 10 rupees profit if it is 650. It is 670, then you make a profit of calculate profit on lot size, right? Same like the premium that you calculated. So this is the total profit that you're going to make if this goes to 670, right? So this is how you're going to make profit. So you are, when you're bullish on any of the stock, so you kind of make this analysis or make this assumption the stock is going to move up and up, right? And it may break the particular threshold that you have set in your mind. So that is how you're going to make profit. So you can see this is a profit in this given example that we're discussing. And similarly, if it goes to 700, so again the profit would be bigger. So 700 minus 640, so your profit would be accordingly uh, right. So this time the profit is 82,500. So till here everyone clear? If there is some confusion, because right now we just done call buy option that we have done. Now similarly we also do put
Sir,
buy option. Yeah.
sir, can you tell me the example where the strike price is
Yeah.
560 or 580?
Okay. Okay, sure. So see, so the trading price is your 600, right? So let's take you buy a strike price of 580. So what will happen in this case? First thing you need to be very clear. There is a difference of 20 rupees from the trading price, as in the spot price, to the strike price that you're buying. So you're already buying in the money. I'll tell you these three words. Probably don't confuse even if you do not understand. In the money, option, right? There is in the money and there is at the money option, and there is one more, that is don't confuse if you don't understand them, because I'm not explaining them as of now. So I'm just going to explain with this one, 581. So you are buying a strike of 580 and you believe the stock is will remain above 580, and that's your fundamental assessment on a given day or given situation. So now see, if you look at from the spot price and your strike price, there is a difference of 20 rupees as it is. So that will be factored in your option premium also. So your option premium would always be 20 rupees be factored in. So that means this will come um, by default, and on top of this, so the premium given you are you're buying this one, so the premium can be as high as you say 30 rupees, right? So there would be some premium charge for the option, right? And given you have bought in the money, this is called in the money option. Why? Because this is straight away giving you 20 rupees, straight away giving you 20 rupees. So this kind of an option would be sold at a higher premium. So 30 rupees is a premium for this kind of option, 20 rupees which is the inherent value of the option, and 10 rupees is the extra value. So you understand when I say inherent value, probably first of all this one, when I say there is 20 rupees inbuilt, so do you understand why I'm saying this 20 rupees is inbuilt?
Yes, sir.
Right? So because 580 is the strike you have taken, even today, today's basis, today's price only, there are 20 rupees cash, 20 rupees you make. So that is the reason I'm saying the inherent is 20 rupees. And on top of that, there would be some premium also, right? Which is like the one that we discussed out for the out of money, where you're buying a strike of 640. So when you buy a strike of 640, the premium was only 3 rupees. Why 3? Because it was very, very far off from this current price. Current price was 600, and your strike that you were buying, that was 640. So that is very far off, and given it is far off, therefore the premium paid was quite less, right? So that was only 3 rupees. But here in this case, you are buying a strike which is in the money. That means you are straight away making a 20 rupees on it while you buy it. So there would be some additional premium on such a strike, because the seller does not know how far it can go. Even it can go 340, 640s, right? So they need to have a reasonable premium, and there is a calculation method of premium which I'm not going to spell at this moment because that's a confusing one. So first we need to try to understand from the fundamental point of view, because if we get clear with the fundamental, that probably gives some confidence that we know what we are doing. So let's suppose this is the 30 rupees premium, right? So now you can imagine what amount you're paying to the seller. 30 multiply 13, so you're giving this amount 41,250 as a premium to the seller. So if it goes to 580, it goes downward, then you're going to lose your money, right? Your money is going to be lost. You are losing all your money. So that means 41,000 is lost. However, if it continues to be traded at 600 even at the day of maturity, then you were only left with 20 rupees, because it should be above 600 rupees. Only then you would be making more money on it. But if it is only 600 even at the day of the maturity, that means only there is the same inherent value which remains at the day of the expiry also. So 20 rupees is the only benefit that you can make out of this option. So 20 multiply by the lot size. So this is the amount that you're going to receive after paying the premium of 41,250, right? So that is how it is. Any question wherein so just to add on few more things. So while I mention these terms, in the money, at the money, out of money, right? So in the money basically means when you are buying something which is as it is giving some value to you, like the one example that we discussed. When you buy a strike of 600 and you buy a strike of 550 for this call option, so you are buying an option which is as it is giving you some inherent money, inherent value. So that kind of an option is called in the money option. That is already in the money, right? At the money is when you're buying something which is at the same strike price, at which is your trading price also, the spot price also. So like if you're taking a strike of 600, then it would be called at the money, because the trading price and the spot price is same. So that would be called you're buying at the money option. And the one that we were buying for 640, because it is away from your spot price, so that kind of an option is called out of money options, right? So these three terms you need to just keep in your mind when we look at option. So yeah, so I hope this is clear to all. Any questions? So just to give you two situations. So here, if the stock in case of call, right now we're only doing call, we're not doing put options. We'll do it put just after it. So if your stock remains at the day of maturity, if it remains at any level below the strike, so 640 was a strike that we took in the first example. If it remains below 640, so you are not going to make any money on this option. You're going to lose entire premium that you have paid. So that is how. And if it this stock moves above 640 and moves like 650, 660, 700, whatever number it goes above 640, so that difference is your money. But always remember, you need to at least move above 643, because you remember you paid a premium of 3 rupees that we discussed. So if the stock just moves to 643, so you are just able to recover your money. That's it.
So,
So
if we go
643.
deeper at the in the money option call, as in if we take a strike price of 500, or so the premium will be very high, na, for that.
Premium will be high.
Yeah. So, how does investor think that it will be a profitable situation for him?
Right. You have a good question. So look at this this way. Like I see, I'll give you a very realistic example, and maybe let's relate it with SPI only. So SPI has just gone like anything, and now it is trading around 422 something, right? It has touched 430 also. And if you remember a 2 months back story, the SPI was somewhere 280, 290, or maybe around 300 max to max. So in a matter of 2 months only, it has moved like anything. So as a trader or as an investor, you might be having a view, it has already gone like anything, and now it has no more energy, it will fizzle out and it will lose the momentum, right? That might be your assessment. That assessment may be true, may not be true, but you, as in there are investors who actually do a lot of research, lot of understanding. So this is the assessment of one of the investor, I'm saying. So you are buying a stock which is with a premium of 500, sorry, with a strike of 500. And as we discussed, if you're buying something which is in the money, so your premium would be higher, right or wrong? So you are able to encash high premium at this moment, and when it goes to 530, what would be the premium value? It will be less, right? Or maybe the next day if it goes to 530, what would be the premium value then for the same strike, that 500 strike? It will be less, right? Getting the point what I'm saying here, or you want me to
Can you
repeat it?
please repeat it out?
Yeah, so I'm saying while this stock which is trading at 600, you today buy a strike of, for the call option, not for put. So for the call option, you're buying a strike of 500. So straight away there is a difference of 100, right? 100 plus some extra premium. So I'll say it is 120 is the premium. How much is the premium for a strike of 500? Premium for strike of 500 call option, let's make it rupees 120, because 100 as it is, you have the inherent value and 20 rupees is on top of it. So 120 rupees you make. Now let's take a situation next, the very next day. I'm not even going till maturity, just next day I'm saying. So next day the stock trading price, or the spot price I would say, is your 550. So now tell me the strike price of this 550 would be low, right? You can very easily make out, because there is the difference of only 50 is the inherent value, and on top of that maybe you include some 10-15 rupees, so some close to 60 rupees. So straight away you made a profit of 60 rupees. So this is how you can make profit. So it is purely on the assumption or the understanding of the traders, how they look at a particular stock. If they have got a view, the stock has already risen to its higher end, and from there the
But
probability of
this
stock
kind of
moving.
situation is only applicable at a particular scenario, na?
Yes.
What you are telling is it's applicable only a particular scenario. But what if it's a bull run market, and people think making an out of the money call would be cheaper and would be much more profitable?
Yes, yes, yeah. So if it is a bull run scenario, like wherein it is just going up and above and above and above, right? So then also from your point of view, you're going to make money only, because you have bought an in the money call option, and if you bought an in the money call option for a strike of 500, right? And if it goes to 640, so this strike will continue to move up, right? This 120, which were when you bought a strike of 500, this will continue to move up. From your point of view, it is not a problem. If you, even if you buy a deep in the money call option, and the market view is only still it is a bull market, right? So that means it's still not, it is not stopping, it's just moving on and on and on. So for you it is not going to problem, but you would be in a problem when you know it this as in markets just stops at this point only. So then it is going to be a problem. So the premium will still increase if it moves up, but you know, the objective of such kind of an option from the investor point of view is maybe you want to encash money with this idea that the call is going to, as in the stock is going to move in a downward direction, or it will fizzle out, and therefore you would like to be making more money on this call option.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, if we talk about the in the money option,
Yeah.
suppose in the first company you said at a trading price of 600, they take a put option of 580. Okay, so
Okay.
sorry, 560. So they have to pay a premium of 60 rupees.
Yeah, you can take it this way. Yeah.
And,
Let's
yeah.
make it 60.
And in another case, when they offer out of money option, they have to pay a premium of suppose 3 rupees for the strike price of 620.
620. Okay.
Okay, so in this case, the total premium paid by the investor at the first option is 60 rupees in the shares.
Yeah. 60
shares of purchase. Okay.
Yes. Right.
And in the next option, they only pay the premium of 3 rupees. So
Yes.
in the first scenario, he get the profit only when the strike the trading price is above 600. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in actual case, he get only profit when the trading price goes above 620, because till 620 they already given the premium. So,
Right.
okay.
Very good, sir.
So
Yeah.
in the second case, they only have a loss of 3 rupees if the call is in the money. So only the 3 rupees. So can we say that in case of first option in the money, the margin of loss will be much higher than the out of money option?
Yeah, it is true. So when you are going for in the money option, because the premium paid is more, right? So the loss is proportionately more. You are spending more money to buy an option. So reward and risk is accordingly high. You can say if it is continues in a one direction, that is the upward direction, as Nishant said. If it is still in the bull, then probably it is going to earn you more money. However, right, if it goes downward, then you lose your money. So your it may be more of a risk also.
Sir, can you give me an example where in the money call is more profitable than the out of the money option?
So it is not like this. Okay, so let's stick with the same example. So how we can say it is more profitable? Profitable is only the direction. So if the direction continues in your favor, right? If it is your favorable direction, then it can be a more better way. So while we are looking this scenario from the point of view of maturity, there are a way of closing the option the very same day. You can buy the option, you can also close the option today only. So you can take an offset position and you make some money, difference money, and leave the option. That is also, so that is the reason why people do this out of money buy, or as in the money buy people do. So you might be wondering why people are doing in the money buy rather than going for the out of the money buy, right? So like the example that we discussed, 561 you saying. So you buy for 560 as a call option, right? So when you take a 560 and the stock price is 600, so difference is 40 rupees plus, like, let's make it 60 is a premium amount. Okay, premium is 60.
I'm sorry, sir. Sorry to interrupt. Could we please start with the initial terms, like जो भी initial जितने भी terms होते हैं, so that हमारी भी जिसको नहीं पता है, like me, मुझे इसके बारे में बिल्कुल भी idea नहीं है what is going on right now.
Okay.
So in the money and all the money, at the money, I don't know anything about this at this point of time. तो अभी जो भी चल रहा है ना, वो सर के ऊपर से जा रहा है. So better रहेगा आप स्टार्टिंग से लेके चलो, so that सबको समझ भी आए.
Okay, no worries.
That's fine.
Yeah. So probably
And
we can discuss it from the start. You just give me 1 second. So the topic points that you need to remember is, one is spot price. This is one. Then another point is strike price. Right? These two things you need to keep in your mind. Then in the money and at the money, I'll show you with the position that we are taking. Right? With the position that we're taking, will tell you how it is in the money and how it is at the money, how it is out of money. So first of all, spot price. So we're taking a spot price of the stock, that is ICICI Bank in question, is 600 rupees. Let's make it fixed. That's the spot price is same. And strike price can be anything between this range. Right? Your strike price can be 540, can be 560, can be 580, can be 600, 620, 640, and 650. Now say you took a strike of first 640. Right? This is the first example that we're talking. You have taken a strike of 640. So what is this 640? It is quite away from 600. The spot price is 600. That means current price, and now the strike price is 640. So that means it is far from the spot price. So you will call it the out of money strike you're buying. Right? This is your out of money, you will say. So let me just.
sir, I'm sorry, but I just read थोड़ा सा जितना भी हो पाया था about today's class, options की जो class होने वाली है. So मुझे थोड़ा बहुत idea है. That's fine. What I'm saying is, let's start with the beginning, एकदम initial से कि what is options. मुझे options क्या है वही नहीं पता होगा, then हम आगे का लेके और आगे का जितना भी चल रहा है, ठीक है, doubts हैं लोगों के, सबके doubts हैं, that's fine. बट उनको टर्म्स का पता है ऑलरेडी, जहाँ तक मुझे समझ आ रहा है उनको बहुत सारी चीज़ों का ऑलरेडी पता है, बट मुझे इनिशियली नहीं पता कि व्हाट इज ऑप्शंस एंड व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन, देन मैं उसको कैसे रिलेट कैसे कर पाऊंगी. दिस इज माय क्वेश्चन. एंड मेरे इसमें बहुत सारे No, I didn't. But no, I didn't. I joined before you even. But my thing is, अगर आपको start ही करना है, this is all about options, right? तो आप options का एकदम starting से लेकर चलो. Like what is options and what are the types of options? Because call options हैं, उसमें long call है, उसमें short calls हैं, उसमें put calls हैं, उसमें so everything is there. हम बीच में से ही पहले न्यूमेरिकल्स लेके चल रहे हैं विदाउट नोइंग द बेस, जो हमारा बेस है, राइट? तो बहुत सारे लोग हैं जिनको नहीं भी समझ आ रहा होगा, जो कुछ बोलते भी नहीं है, जो कुछ बोल नहीं भी रहे हैं या तो, बट मुझे बिल्कुल समझ नहीं आ रहा है. सो प्लीज आप स्टार्टिंग से लेकर चलो एकदम, व्हाट इज ऑप्शंस एंड व्हाट इज थिंग, कि भाई ये क्या है और ये क्या है, सो दैट आई कैन रिलेट. ताकि मैं और क्वेश्चंस भी अगर होंगे तो मैं वो भी पूछ लूं.
Be patient with yourself, because what happens when you are excited as in you want to understand everything at one go, probably it will not work with any one of you. I understand, that's the problem. Because
yes, we can't understand everything in just one go. जो एकदम सामने अभी हमारे पिक्चर है, that is everything.
No one is expecting. But if you're not patient with yourself, then probably you will not understand anything for that matter, I'm telling you. So patience, when I say, so what you're saying, starting we have done, and starting is very simple. The call option and put option, that is what we started. That's the reason I asked you, did you join in the beginning? So there's not a problem. You can start it again. You can do it again. That's not a problem, I'm saying. But I'm saying,
sir, my question, my thing is not this. About calls and put. ठीक है, हमारा अभी फॉरवर्ड्स और उसका ही कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है और हम अभी ऑप्शंस कर रहे हैं.
This is your second class, I guess.
I'm sorry, Chanki, I'm not talking to you right now. I'm talking to Amit.
That is what
However,
I'm just telling you, this is your
no, don't interrupt. Don't interrupt in between, please.
No worries, Shivani, go ahead. Don't worry about it. So I'm telling you, you need to be bit patient, because this is your second class, right? And you
नहीं सर, हमारा बैच बहुत पहले से शुरू हो चुका है. हम अंशुल सर से क्लास ले रहे थे.
No, I'm saying this is your derivative second class, right? I'm saying derivative. Option is part of your derivative, right? And derivatives is the second. This is
so this is our fourth class of derivatives. Yes, sir. You have only taken 2 classes before this.
And so then you're saying we have already covered option.
So we didn't cover options till now. हमारा उस टाइम भी फॉरवर्ड्स और फ्यूचर्स का कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ था. उस टाइम भी हमारा यही रहता था एंड कल की क्लास में भी हमने यही बोला था कि हमारा अभी ये हो चुका है ऑलरेडी, हमने ये कर लिया है, बट यू सेड कि रिवीजन है, कर लो. तो वी डिड इट. ठीक है. अभी आप प्लीज पहले हमारा फॉरवर्ड्स एंड उसका कंप्लीट करवा दो, देन वी कैन मूव फॉरवर्ड. नो, अभी बीच में कोई और ऑप्शंस का आ जाएगा. सो दैट्स not making any sense for me at least.
No, which is fine. That's not a problem. But so this is on the back of the yesterday's class only. You need to understand it. It is not something new which I'm telling. It is, there was something on option yesterday, so they were asking question on.
So you just gave yeah, okay, right. Okay, just
there were
sir,
two.
पढ़ाओ जैसे आप पढ़ा रहे हो, पढ़ा लो, कोई बात नहीं.
So you need to come up with a question. I don't mind it, right? But you need to be bit. You need to ask a question in a certain way so that it is.
अरे सर, मैंने तो बहुत आराम से बोला.
No, it is fine. That's fine. I'm saying you need to ask in a certain way so that it is clear to your trainer what you're trying to ask.
Yes, I'm understanding your point, sir. You are right.
So what she's trying to say is we are all not able to connect to the topic because we are all not familiar with the terms, definitions, meanings, and how are they used in the market.
That is
so
Sana, that is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You need to be a bit patient, right? Otherwise, you would not be able to connect even a single
Yes,
word. So even when you are right, these terms, at the same time I say, even if you do not relate these terms, do not even ignore them, because this will come. Because if there is a question coming my way,
no sir, what I am trying to ask is this what we've covered or is this new?
No, it's a new thing.
Okay,
it's
okay,
not,
okay, sir.
not covered.
Got it.
So the only thing I'm saying, maybe I understand your point. Like there are people who are at different stages, right? And I need to look after the entire class.
Yes, sir. No problem at all. Our thing is we're not able to connect to the question, thinking that we don't know it, or that it has been covered and we have not known it.
No. It is not. It is
okay,
not.
Sir.
It is just a question has come from one of you only, and that's on the basis that I'm just telling you.
Got it, sir. Thank you.
Don't take it that way. Like it
yes.
is covered or it is not going to be covered. It will be covered. Okay, so I hope, I guess this was from Amit or who asked this. So is it making sense why we are buying the deep in the money call option, and what is the benefit of it? Right? Clear?
Sir, I have a question regarding.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if we take a real-time scenario like Bank Nifty or Nifty, and if we take their chart, option chain chart. So if we go deep in the money option, we can't see any business going on in the call side on the buying side, sir.
It is there. You can say, even if you look at your deep in the money thing, so you will find there are a lot of traders who are buying deep in the money.
Right now I'm looking at a strike price of 13,100 in Nifty. So I can't see any call buyer over there.
On the calls,
yeah, I can see put seller over there.
Okay. But if I'm not pretty sure about Nifty, but if you go with the stock ones, the monthly one, you will find.
Okay.
But still, I can check your Nifty one also, because I believe Nifty would also be working in a very similar manner, because it is usually the same. It takes the same kind of approach only. Okay, so that is how it is. Okay.
Sir,
yeah.
You take an example. Actually, I'm not able to relate how in the money option will be beneficial. So I just taken the two scenario. First scenario is if I take the strike price as 540, okay, and the spot price is 600. So the investor has to pay the premium of, let's see, 70 rupees per share, and the lot size is 1,345. Okay, so the total amount that he's going to pay is 94,150, and he get the profit only if the price is going above the 600.
Above the strike, yeah.
Sorry, 610.
Yeah. Above the strike, yeah.
And in the second scenario, if the strike price is 620, okay, so he has to pay a premium of 3 rupees. That is the total premium he is paid is 4,035 rupees according to the lot size. Okay, so at the end of the month, if the price of a particular stock is 640, let's suppose.
Yeah.
So so in this scenario, the first person who buy at 600 get a profit of 20 rupees per share.
Right.
And in the second scenario, he get the profit of 20 rupees.
No, you need to look at from this point of view. When you going for as an in the money, right? So the money difference will always be there. So this 640 to 600. So this value will not diminish. This will remain as it is. So difference of 60 rupees, that is always intact as long as the share does not fall below 600. So that value will always be, even at the time of maturity, that will continue, because that's the inherent value that we're talking, right? So that value will be there in the option, and your value will fall only when the option actually goes in the downward direction. Then only the value is going to fall. So that is the risk which it has. But then the option buyer has got a different view. The option buyer has got a view that the share is going to run up. If it is going to run up, then he is going to make money on it. Right, so that is the view with the option buyer. So even if you're buying a option which is a 120 rupees, so as it moves up, this premium, this increment in premium would be higher. If it goes over 10 point higher, this would be 335. So there would be some extra addition that is called, there is a gamma factor which comes. So don't confuse, guys, those who are new to this. We'll talk about delta gamma later, not at this point in time. So that gamma factor actually comes into if you know the how option pricing is done. So that is how it works. So as you move up, so this premium would be even more than what it was between those 10 points. So there would be some factor which will be making it higher and higher. So that is the main reason why people go for the deep in the money buying of those kind of options. Okay, so let's probably just stop it here, and we'll start where we left it, and then we'll again be having more discussion around the same options and all today only. Okay, so just give me a second.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome. Okay, so we were talking about initial margin, variation margin, right? So initial margin example, I hope everyone is clear. Anyone not clear with initial margin thing that we discussed yesterday, and the variation margin also? You want me to explain it again?
Yes, sir. Actually, I missed the class. If this topic relate with further understanding, then can you explain it again?
Yeah, no worries. So look at this. So this is the example that we were talking yesterday. So you're taking a future of ICICI Bank, and we have made a share of 1400, right, as a lot size. 1400 is one lot. Buy rate is 600. So the nominal amount, how are you going to calculate nominal? The nominal means its contract value. When I say nominal, means the contract value, that is called nominal. And this amount you're not going to pay at this time. This is the value of the contract, but how much you pay the upfront amount, that is called your initial margin. So the upfront payment that you make to the to your when you go into this position, that is the initial margin. Remember this thing. So if somebody asks you what is the initial margin is the amount that you pay to buy the future contract, and that is part payment, you can say, or the upfront payment in other terms. So like the example that you can see. I hope you can see my Excel file, right?
Sir, there is a fixed percentage of initial margin as like futures, because in a future class the sir told me that there is 30% of the total value.
It is usually 25 to 35%. It is usually 25%, 35%, 35%. So we have taken 25. See, look at this formula bar. If you can see, maybe 0.25 is I've taken. So 0.25 is of this value, your contract value. So this is the initial margin payment you're going to make while you take position in the futures contract, right? Then there is another term that is called your maintenance margin. And maintenance margin is usually 10 to 15% of your your notional value, that is your
Notional
contract.
value.
So let's make it, it is, I've taken 15% here in this particular scenario, and this is your 1,26,000 is the maintenance margin. Now, how these work? So that is what we are going to discuss as in this initial and variation margin, right? So this is the situation wherein you have taken a position and you bought it futures contract at what rate? 600 is a rate, right? So now you would have taken this in the day, and now you need to know what is the closing price. So the closing price, let's say, is 610. The same contract which you bought for 600, and the closing becomes 610. So what is the, is it profitable for you or it is a loss for you?
Profitable.
Profitable, right? So you can see 610 minus 600, right? So there is a difference of 10 rupees that you can see very clearly. Then you're going to calculate on in the value terms. So this difference is going to give you the value, as in what value you're going to add in the the settlement. So 10 rupees multiplied by how many? 1400 shares. So how much difference is there? 14,000. Right? So this is called your variation margin. So when you bought the share and when it closed on day one, this is day one, you can see. What is the variation happened? 14,000, and this will be added to this value. Which one? Initial margin. So your total amount would be your this plus this, right? And that is on day one.
Okay.
So this initial margin and maintenance margin are where
Yeah.
where they are saved or stored, as in they are in demat or in trading, where they are actually stored.
They are in trading account only. So the initial margin would be your, as in this amount is the upfront amount that you pay in the beginning of the contract. So that will be in your trading account. This will be shown, like how much amount you have paid as a, and this will be the margin amount would be reflected there. The margin blocked against the contract. So that would be shown to you. So now.
So sir, the 14,000 rupees will be shown as notional profit in our trading account.
Yeah, that would be shown as a profit. You can say ledger profit, you can say, or unrealized profit would be reflected.
Okay.
Right. So on day one, this is the unrealized profit you are getting of 14,000. Now, next day, I'm saying the stock moves to 620. Okay. How much is the variation? 10 multiplied by 1400 is the sorry, 10 1400. So how much it is? 14,000 is the variation from yesterday's. So day two variation is 14 again, 1400, 14,000, not 100, 14,000. Right. So how much it varied from day one to day two? Again, it is 14,000, because the difference is 10 rupees only. And now again, this will be added to your initial margin account. So your unrealized profit will become 2,34,000. This will become your day two thing. Similarly, you can, this is something that we have taken on the upside, right? There can be in a downside also. And the downside happens wherein this value goes below 1,26,000. So then you need to top up your account up to this 8,40,000. Right? So you need to, sorry, 2,10,000, not 8,40,000. You need to top up your initial margin. So if in case you lose on the trade, and you can lose when the share value goes down. Right now it is 600. If it goes below, let's make it goes below to 400. I'm just taking a hypothetical number. The spot market trade value, as in the futures contract value, is 400, and that is, this value is being derived from this share value only, right? And so if this is 400, so what is the value of the contract? Right. So, what is the difference in the 200 is the difference, right? 600 minus 400. So that's the 200 difference is there. So you will see how much you have lost. You have lost 2,80,000. The extreme example I've taken. Rather than taking 400, you can probably take 300 only, so that it is relatable. So there is a difference of 100 rupees. So how much loss you are incurring? 100 multiply 40 million. So for 1,40,000, right? And you can clearly see 1,40,000 is below your 1,20,000, right? So if you deduct from this amount, which was your initial margin, how much is there? 70,000 is left in initial margin account. So what I'm telling you, this was your initial margin account value in the beginning, and your share was, as in the contract was trading at 600 rupees. Let's take a scenario wherein the share value falls to 300, or the contract value, whether I'd say not the share value, because it is being coming from the share, so that way you can say the share value is also falling. So the contract value now is 300. So if 300 is the value, that means how much change has been happened? 100 rupees change. Oh, sorry, not 300, 500. Make it 500. 600 is the spot. This is share price. So 100 rupees change has happened. So 100 multiply by your number of lot. So that is the loss that you have incurred. Loss is 1,40,000 rupees. So this loss margin amount, that is your 2,10,000. So you're left with how much money in your initial margin account? 70,000 rupees. So how? So you need to top up your account now, and how much top up is required? You actually need to this minus this is the amount that you need to top up now. Getting the point? Any confusion here? Let me know.
So sir, like the top up is on the hand of the investor. So if the initial margin goes, means the losses goes down till the initial margin, so the broker will square up the trade, or it will like any other processes there?
Yes, so good question. So in this situation, like the one that we're discussing, your amount has gone below the initial margin amount, right? So as a maintenance margin amount, the maintenance margin was 1,26,000. So the broker first will call you, right? And broker will ask you to top up your account up to the initial margin, 2,10,000. So he will ask you add in 1,40,000 in the account, so that there is no need to square up the position. However, you don't do that. As an investor, I don't follow the orders or follow the advice coming from broker. So what will happen? The broker cannot afford, rather I would say not broker, it is coming from exchange directly. So exchange cannot take this level of risk, and they will square up the position in the market. Right? So that is
But
how
sir, they can
this is
only
going to- yeah.
But so they can only square up the position when the 2 lakh the total amount that is 2,10,000 is exhausted.
No,
Or-
no, Nishant. So that is that they can't go up to that extent. That is too far, because this is the only amount you have given, right? As the only amount, 2,10,000 is the amount coming from your side. And if I wait up till 2,10,000, that means if it can drop up to this much, it can drop further also. And that point in time, you will say, no, I'm not going to honor this contract. I'm running away, right?
But
So,
sir, there is one option at the investor end that they can fix a stop loss. So when the price comes at that particular point, they automatically square off the position. So the exchange can also do the same. So how it occurs a loss for the exchanges?
So here, how this work is, they will allow you to not uh, put in any funds as long as your maintenance margin is not broken. So the maintenance margin is 1,26,000 as a number. It's just a number, right? So as long as this maintenance margin is not broken by the loss that you are incurring, there would be no call, nothing you need to pay. It will, the contract will remain as it is going there in the market, right? However, if your value actually goes below the maintenance margin, so there are chances that this may turn out to be a very heavy loss later, and therefore exchange does not want to take any chances of incurring loss. So the stop loss option that you're saying, that is available at the investor side. Investor can definitely use the stop loss, and if they're not ready to clear the loss, they can square up their position well before the time. That is up to the investor, but exchange will not do that. It is with the investor only. So what exchange will do here, if your loss is more, like in this case we have seen, wherein the stock price, as in the futures contract was trading at 600 rupees, and it went below 500. So that's the difference of 100 rupees. So total loss that you are incurring is in total, which is below. If you calculate, if you minus this from the your initial margin number, then it goes below the maintenance margin requirement. So this is what we have done here, right? This minus your this loss, 70,000 is the amount coming is in the form of your initial margin. So you're left with only 70,000 in the initial margin account. So given the maintenance margin is 1,26,000, you cannot have, even this situation comes, then you need to top up your account up to the initial margin value. So that is how it is. So stop loss function is definitely available with the investor side, but your exchange will only square up your position when you do not top up your initial margin account as per the advice given by the broker. Then your position would be closed.
Sir, but if we calculate initial margin, suppose they have devoted 2,10,000. So in this case, they have a margin of downfall till 150. Okay. Suppose the investor don't have the funds. So in this option, can they put the stop loss from his side or not? Suppose they want to set.
Yeah, as
So,
using investor.
So
using investor can put the stop loss.
If the current price is 600, okay, so investor can put a stop loss of at 520 or not? Yeah, 500 or not?
Yeah, it is. Because investor can do that.
Because, sir, but because if they put the stop loss at 500, so their initial margin is going to be decreased till they're having the margin of 50,000 left. When the share comes at 500, then the margin they had left in his account is only 50,000. And before that, the NSE or the exchange has to call the customer to add up the value.
Yes,
so,
right.
Is this case applicable when the customer put the stop loss at 500?
So by putting 500 as a stop loss, the position would be squared up, right?
Yes.
So that way it will not be applicable, because you very clearly can see putting the stop loss at 500, you will still be left with 70,000 in your account. You are in loss for sure, but your 70,000 your money only. So you would not be receiving any further call from broker, because by way of the option given to you, you have already given executed the stop loss function and closed your position. So there is no need. Only 70,000 would be left in your account. Rest would be debited from your initial margin account. So that is how this will be closed out.
Can the stop loss can be put after the trade or not? Suppose if the investor in between decided to make a stop loss, then they are able to do that or not?
After the trade means Guys, I'm just telling you, I
Sure,
know
sir.
there would be some challenges would be there, but we also respect others because others' question is as valuable as yours. So that's why I'm saying I am okay to take your questions even if there is left. We can have another half an hour class further also. That's not a problem challenge with me, and we can manage one way or the other. Questions are
Okay,
important to be
sir.
taken, and
Thank you,
right.
sir.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. So this is clear to everyone, I hope. Any further question on this margin work, how margin work?
Okay. So if we see the notional price is 8,40,000 and the initial margin we have to pay is 2,10,000. So there is
Right.
a difference of 6,30,000.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it's the leverage which we are getting. But I don't
Yeah.
really understand who's gonna pay that money.
Okay, you're saying a difference, who's going to pay? Okay, so yeah, Nishan, so to cover this, as in there is two things on this futures contract, like as we discussed, either it can be cash settled, right, or it can be physically settled. So the option with the investor is, you can, if you are in profit or even in loss, you can close with the cash settlement by incurring the loss, like the one that we're discussing, wherein you incur a loss of 1,40,000 by the contract value going to 500 from 600. So you're incurring a loss of 1,40,000. So you can close on your own, wherein you take an opposite position and close your position by booking the loss, right? However, if you're in profit, again you can take another opposite contract. So you will take the profit and you will go. That's it. And another is, if you want to take a physical settlement, as in you want to hold the number of shares, that is when you need to deposit the additional funds, which are different that we're talking at the moment. So how can you take the physical settlement? You can take by opening the contracts. You just leave the contract as it is, and that goes kind of a message to the exchange that you are interested in holding the shares, underlying shares in this contract, and then you would have to deposit the amount. Only then you would be able to take the position. Yeah.
But so my question still remains the same. Like as in the initial margin is 25% what we are giving to them, but the 75% of the money is about to be given now in the market. Then only this kind of trade can be executed.
No, not at all, not at all. So you're saying while you go into the trade, is the remaining amount need to be paid? No. So the only amount need to be paid is 2,10,000 for this contract. Now the question is how the settlement will happen, because settlement says 1,400 shares under this contract, right? So the settlement can be two ways. One is the cash settlement, another is your physical settlement. Physical settlement involves taking the position of shares, and therefore you're taking the position of 1,400 share, you're bound to keep the entire money of the contract. So that is clear, that is what we need to have. We need to do this. But if you are not, you don't want to take a physical settlement, you just want to go for the cash settlement. When I say cash settlement, means you just want to book the profits or losses, whichever way you want to say. So if it has gone to, let's say, the this contract value gone to 650, what's the difference? 650 minus 600, 50 is the difference, right? So 50 multiply 1,400. So this is the profit, and this you will enjoy at the end of the maturity. You keep this money and say goodbye to the contract. Contract is over. Everything is closed. Dishan?
I get it, sir, but still, my question is that we are paying only 25%.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But the market is like if we are going for a normal rather than a leverage position, if we go for a normal normal trade, then this profit will be 4 times lesser.
No, you're not. Okay. So while let's say I'm giving you to buy a trade, or not a buy a trade, as I'm saying, giving an option to take a position on a trade. It is not a buy at the moment, just a contract wherein we have agreed to buy a number of shares on a future date, right? With the definition of the future, you are agreeing to a contract of ICC future, wherein you are saying you're going to buy it at a rate of 600 in future date. Maybe take a 30 days time horizon from here. So now this 25% of the contract value, 2,10,000. Now, while I'm giving this sort of a contract